Welcome our YouTube viewers, and thank you for joining the session. We're going to be starting our webinar momentarily. Actually, we are letting all visitors into the Zoom session as we speak, and we'll just wait for everybody to trickle in. It's 1 o'clock, so I just want to give everyone maybe a few more minutes to make sure we have all the attendees in, and we will get this rolling for you. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and hopefully this will be informative. This is our second live webinar that we're doing on the new planner. I'm sure there'll be many more to come. There's lots and lots to talk about. So today we want to kick it up a notch and focus on the some of the advanced features. And I just brought this up on the screen just to give you a quick agenda. And again, this was designed to be a live demo session, so I'm definitely not going to be in the way of you and that session. But this is what we're going to be covering. We're going to look at the dependencies and how you manage that using the planner, critical path, which is always important in the project management process, and the overall timeline views, whether they're waterfall, Kanban, the boards, and of course, as always, feel free to enter your questions into the Q&A or chat, and we'll address them as they come up or at the end of the session. But what we also would like to do, if time allows us, we also want to give you a sort of a sneak peek on a PPM 365, which is also an advanced tool that TIG built on the Microsoft Power Platform. And again, we will have dedicated sessions on that topic. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So we're constantly posting new videos, tips and tricks, live webinars on there. And without further ado, I'd like to hand this over to Alex Rodov, and so he can go through the live demo of the advanced features of the new planner.
All right, thanks, Yuri. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're happy to have you here to show you a beautiful planner, a new planner that is out there. So what I'd like to to start with is to go through the planner, and specifically we're going to go through dependencies. So we're going to look into how to set up dependencies, what's the best practice of setting up dependencies and things like that. Critical path, this is an amazing feature of Planner, relatively new, and we'll take a look at that and how this can help us help project managers to schedule managers to see where the critical impact is of which tasks. And we're going to look into different views, timeline views, and bucket views and whatnot, kind of show the difference, show the clicks, and how do we manage that. And yeah, and we'll open up for discussion, and feel free to ask questions, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them. So without further ado, let me go into my plans and share my screen. There we go. You should be seeing my screen. Yes. All right. So in this case, we're looking at this from Teams. So this is the Teams environment over here. So we're within Teams, and if you watched some of our YouTube videos or have been attending some of our webinars, you already know how to make this available here. In most cases, it is already part of your Office 365 or Microsoft 365 subscription. So once you have it up here, you have all these options, right? And you can look at like this My Tasks section where you can see everything, including your, including the stuff that is coming from projects, as well as just tasks, or simply flagged emails. You can just really so you can really see everything in one place. But that's that's not about today. Today we're gonna look into schedule. So we're going to go to my plans, and I have all kinds of plans here listed. I'm going to create a new plan. So we're going to use the premium subscription, where we're going to be able to see additional features like goals and things like that. So we're going to create a new, and that's going to be construction project demo webinar 8/7/2024. All right, so I'm gonna do this. It's gonna create a new plan, and it's gonna be empty schedule, nothing here. So we're gonna use AI, use this Copilot to kind of populate. I mean, I can type it myself, but I like to start utilizing some of this advanced features. Say create tasks for constructing a 2-story building, story house, residential house in Kansas, for example. Let's see. So what this will do, this will create, create some tasks for us. Let's see what it will do. Building your plan. So it's giving us some layouts, and hopefully it's gonna build those tasks. I know it built it before, so still working on it. There you go. So agree with me that this is much easier to just have it populate like this, as opposed to me typing this all in. What I do want to do, I do want to have some duration set up here. So, but you can see already that it created not just a line, a simple one level, list of tasks. It's also grouped this into, tasks and subtasks. So I can see this initially project initiation and design, and I have 3 subtasks underneath. And as you can see, I will not be able to set a duration for this summary task. However, if I look at the detail task, we call these tasks detail tasks. I didn't want to complete it. So I can update the duration of this task. I'm going to say this is like a 5 days. This is like a 4 days, and it's like a 2 day, a 1 day. And it's going to basically start filling this out, those dates automatically, assuming that this is supposed to start on the start date of the project. And by default, every project you create is going to take the start date as of the date of the creation of the project. If I click on this, you would see that if we click on the project name itself, it pulled up this kind of additional information about this project, and then it's tending to start 8/07. So I can shift this and say maybe this is going to start a couple of weeks from now. I'm going to say it's going to start August 19th, for example, and I can shift this August 19th, and you can see how all those default tasks that are default into the project start date are now defaulting to a project start date, but a new date. So that's kind of dynamics that is that we're trying to. I do want to keep myself here. This is kind of dynamic that we can would like to preserve here. So this is me. And then I'm gonna just basically populate some dates just to have some dates. So by default, I have a line item, but until I put anything, either duration or start or finish, it wouldn't populate the date. So I'm gonna, I like populating the date. So I'm gonna just say 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. Just bear with me a second while I kind of populate this here. I'm just gonna put 2 days for this, for the purpose of this webinar. I can put some different dates, but for the purpose of the demo, I'm just gonna quickly run through it. And, so I cannot put a duration here, because guess what? This is going to be a roll-up of those tasks that are underneath of that group of tasks, right? So we got this like this, and obviously, all these tasks are starting in the same one day. Obviously, this is something wrong with it. We not, none of this tasks would most of this tasks would not start on, on that one day. So what we would want to do, we want to create a dependency, right? And that's the topic of today. So finally, we arrived here. I mean, I can always assign these tasks to people and things like that. So just rule of thumb, and this is a good practice to follow. Basically, when you have this summary task and those detailed tasks, you expected as a schedule manager, if you were going to manage the schedule, you would be performing schedule management activities. So if you are going to manage these tasks, it's expected for you to update and manage these tasks that are actual, detailed tasks, what needs to be done. And this summary task is playing the role of the roll-up. So it's not holding a description of the actual work that needs to be done. It's just holding a name of this group of tasks. So most of the things that you see as far as metadata for this task is going to be automatically calculated by the schedule engine. So once we have dependencies, things will shift and change. Those roll up, start and finish dates and durations would be automatically calculated for you. So that's the convenience. We don't have to watch it. And that's in a nutshell what it is. So let's go and try to set up dependencies. So there are a couple of ways you can set up dependencies. No matter which way you use, it's going to end up, the same result. But I'll go to show you a few options. I like to do those dependencies when I look at the timeline. If I click on the timeline, I'll be able to see all of those durations that I set up. In some cases, I had 2 days. In some cases, I had 3 days. And I have these bars now lining up, starting from August 19th, which is our start date of the project. Just quickly go in and show you once more time. Let's just say it's been pushed to September 2nd. Is going to be Labor Day. It's going to say the 3rd, September 3rd. Now it's in September 3rd. Everything gets shifted to September 3rd. So the one way of setting up dependencies, and this is most kind of elegant way of you doing it. I use it a lot. So I grab the finish of the predecessor and I'm going to drag it all the way to the task that I'd like to be a successor, and voila, it's creating this dependency. And I'm just going to go through this for these 3 tasks, and now I have this lineup of tasks over here. And if I look at dates, if I mouse over those dates, you can see the September, see the dates that which this task is is now. I can also, using this interface, I can also extend the duration. I can really literally drag this longer, and this would change the duration of the task and would respect the dependency between predecessor and successor, and then drive this forward. Also, a good practice for dynamic scheduling would be, and this is always has been when we were working with Microsoft Project Desktop or Microsoft Project Schedule, always a good practice was to not to set up dependency between summary tasks. So see those summary tasks are like a thick, thin bars on top. They kind of give you overarching group kind of bar, and it's automatically driven by the tasks underneath. And if I switch quickly back to the grid, so we were at the grid initially, right? Now these tasks have respective dates. Everything is automatically been shifted, calculated, and the summary tasks are now holding the earliest start and latest finish out of all of these tasks underneath. So maybe I'm getting too much. Maybe you already know all of this. So I'm sorry if I'm repeating some of the things, but this is something that is fundamentally very important to understand, especially when you're dealing with thousands of these tasks and thousands of these dependencies. This would become handy. So if you are to link, and I'm going back to this bar view, if you're going to link the tasks from one group of tasks to another group, I would do link it by linking this to a sorry, then here it is, by linking this to this task here. So detail task link as a predecessor to a detail task successor, and not doing anything to actual summary task. Although it would not prevent me setting up this dependency, but this is the recipe for creating a lot of scheduling conflicts down the road. So we would like to avoid creating dependencies between summary tasks and detail tasks. So again, the rule of thumb is create dependencies between detail tasks only. All right, and avoid dependencies between either summary tasks or summary task to detail tasks. All right, so this is one way of setting those tasks, and I can show you what's the other way to create this task, to create these dependencies. This was kind of most visual way of doing it, and now if I look at this task that we just linked to and click on it, and I can click on it either by clicking on this bar or clicking on the actual task, it will bring me this additional task information. So this clear site and prepare excavation task. So it has this different, start and finish, has priority. I can change, say it's urgent or it's important, something like that. That's you can play with, doesn't have much impact. But where is the dependency? I can look and it depends on, and this is what it created automatically. So all of this was created by us just dragging and dropping that link on the UI. So if I can quickly delete this dependency, or I can update this dependency. So it's finish to start type of dependency. We also have known other types of dependency: finish to finish, start to start, start to finish. So most common dependency would be finish to start. If you want to finish something, then start something. So finish to start. Sometimes you want to create the dependency that is finish to finish, meaning that you want these two tasks to be finished at the same at the same finish line, or start to finish. So you want one task to start when the other one is finished. It logically creates a lot of complexity, additional and usually unnecessary complexity. So feel free to explore this, but most of the time, 99%, you'd use the finish to start dependency. So you can add some lead time or lag time, and you can add that to your dependency. But as far as a new dependency, I'm just going to create a new dependency and then play with that. So what we're trying to do is to create a link between this task and this task, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the lay, foundation, and footing. I'm going to go to this task. Okay. And I'm going to say, so depends on, there's nothing there. So add a dependency. So I'm going to say the clear site and prepare excavation. So that would be my dependency, and then finish to start by default. Basically, that's it. That's all I needed to do. And if I look at this result, it created the same dependency as if I would just simply drag and drop it over here. Okay. So it's up to you how you want to set up those dependencies. I like to visually kind of track, see what's going on, maybe track, set up this one to this, things like that. You can manage this the way you want it. So it's really up to you. I can keep working on this and keep working on this. I'm gonna maybe create this dependency like this here. And dependency here, and then maybe create this dependency here. So you can see how all of this is participating in dependencies. I'm just gonna keep linking everything. So let me just link everything before we get ready for our next topic. So I'm linking it to another subtask. I'm gonna link this. Maybe I'm gonna make this apply waterproofing soil, and maybe I'll create. Maybe this is gonna be our milestone. Let's say this is gonna be our milestone, and in order to create a milestone, I'm just gonna simply make the duration of this as 0. That automatically is gonna make this a milestone, and it's gonna depict this as a diamond here. Then I'm going to link. I'm just gonna create links. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna create all those links and make sure everything is linked. And now some of you may notice that I'm purposely doing some mistakes. And if you do notice my mistakes, and I'm doing it on purpose, not that I'm not making mistakes, but I'm doing some of these mistakes on purpose. And if you notice some of these mistakes and you know what it is, please feel free to comment either in comments or on the chat over here, so we can just communicate this. I'm making some of these mistakes on purpose, and we'll see how, if you are paying attention, so if you're paying attention or not. Anyway, so I'm gonna make this here. I'm gonna fix all of this, obviously, but I'm making some of this on purpose. So let's keep linking. We're almost done. Okay, almost done. All right. So I like to have some kind of project close milestone, and trying to keep it keeping this project close milestone. This is a complete landscaping. So I'm going to make a dependency complete landscaping. Complete landscaping. There we go. So once I did this, it should, and this is going to be my milestone. So 0 days. 0 days. Okay. So okay, now I have this final milestone that is showing me this is my project. Very good. Very good. So critical path. So definition of critical path is, well, may not be too precise, but I'll give you the sense. So the sequence of the tasks on the schedule, changing anything within which, if you change any of these tasks, duration or anything, it would impact our finish date of the entire project. So you can say some of the tasks on the project may take longer, but they would not impact our project finish line for a project finish date. So in other words, all those tasks that are driving our entire schedule, that are participating in that timeline from start to finish, changing any of these tasks would impact our deadline. So and a lot of times we're asking, like, what is a critical path, right? And sometimes we want to, we definitely want to pay attention to those critical path tasks, because these, delaying any of these tasks would impact our deadline. So what are those? And what are those that are not tasks on the critical path? So Planner now has this new feature, and you can just simply click this and say, show me critical paths. And now we have tasks highlighted, and now they're highlighted in red, saying, hey, pay attention to these tasks. And look at these guys here. These guys here are not on a critical path, meaning that, well, you can delay to a degree at some point some of these tasks, and those tasks would not impact the deadline. Well, arguably, you can say, it's almost accurate. And the reason why it's almost accurate, because I had some issues with the mistakes that I made on purpose here while setting up those dependencies. But anyway, as far as critical path, this is where you want to look at this and pay attention to the critical path tasks. Well, most of these tasks are on critical path, but you would have schedules, hundreds and hundreds of lines, thousands of lines potentially, where you have things that are on critical path and the things that are not on critical path. And this is where you can, make a judgment call managing the project and say, hey, these tasks are not on the critical path, so we can afford to delay a little bit, some of these. But these ones that are on critical path, we should really make it on time. Otherwise, we have a risk of running late to the finish line. So as far as those mistakes that I made, I'm just gonna remove that depiction of critical path. As far as those mistakes that I made a few. So first of all, I had this one dependency that I made to a summary task. So the detail task to the summary task. That's not good. I don't like this dependency. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna delete this dependency here. So I'm gonna basically remove that dependency. And now I don't have dependency for some tasks. That's good. The other thing that I'd like to do in order to consider the schedule is fully dynamic as far as dependencies perspective is to make sure I have every task to have a dependency to coming in and coming out. So well, and that's exception for the first task. So the first, say maybe kickoff, the first task is linked to our project start date. But starting from the first task, all the subsequent tasks theoretically should have, well, dynamically speaking, should have, well, dynamic scheduling speaking, should have input and output as far as dependency. So all of these tasks do have some of these complex dependencies. Some of these tasks are driving multiple tasks, but still I do have in and out, right? I have dependency coming in, dependency coming out, coming in, coming out. This one here, install roof. I mean, this task doesn't seem to be driving anything. Well, maybe this is not driving maybe necessarily, some installation inside the house, but this is definitely driving what, right? This is definitely driving our deadline. Say if the roofing is delayed, it's not going to be, the project close cannot be completed, right? So we still need to have that. Like if you don't have anything in your in the schedule to link it to, then you would link it to this very last milestone, which is completion. That would be considered. So in case you delay this task, let's just say this whole thing gets delayed to here. Well, up to here it's still okay because we're still working on finishing and landscaping. Maybe some roofing work is still going on. But let's say roofing
went out of hand, and now we're experiencing this delay of the close of the project, and we can see what is it that which pole in the tent is the longest, right? The longest pole in the tent. Now that becomes the longest pole in the tent. Not until it's delayed, but that's the reason why we do want to keep all of these tasks linked. So the same thing for this, build exterior walls. So this is probably linked to install windows and doors. So actually this should be linked to this one, right? So I didn't build this link, but now once I do have this link built, right? Let me just depends on and dependency. I like to set this up for this one, install it. So this install windows is going to be build exterior wall. So we're going to have a dependency, this one, as well as build exterior wall. There you go. And look how things have shifted, right? Now everything has in and out, in and out, in and out, and everything is linked. And well, not everything. This one is construct second floor structure. This needs to be linked to install a roofing frame. So this should be a right. It should be dependency to this. No, I don't want to change this. I'm just gonna set dependency construct second roof. Construct second floor. A dependency construct second floor. It's actually giving you some suggestions here. The way the way it usually builds. So you should have a lot of options very close to you when you need them. So now everything is linked, and now everything is connected. Now this is, we would call it truly dynamic schedule. And if you look at the critical path, well, not everything is on the critical path, but a lot of things are on the critical path because we sequentially created the dependencies with each other. So it does look like a waterfall. But should you have things working in parallel, those work in parallel may not be on the critical path, and that's going to be part of your risk identification, risk mitigation. If you need to compress the schedule, then you'd look at the critical path and determine, okay, you can move things around that are not on critical path. All right. So we have something else to, and
Alex, we do have a question.
Yeah.
That has to do with subtasks. How many subtasks can you create in the new planner?
You know what, I don't believe I don't remember the limit, but it's plenty. I mean, you can create multi-levels. You can create just say summary task, and let's just say I'm going to say this is going to be task. I'm just going to say create a bunch of tasks just to show how many levels we can have. So we can have this one here, and make a subtask, right? You can make a subtask, and then I can make this one, make a subtask, and make a subtask of that task, and then I can create this and make a subtask of this task. So you can create multi-levels. It's a ridiculously big number, so likely you will never run out of the limitation. But you can have the hierarchy of these tasks, multiple hierarchies and things like that. So pretty complex schedules, thousands of lines. Technically, I think there is a limit of some sort of, but I don't remember off the cuff what the number is. But this is where you can create a subtasks and tasks.
Yes, somebody actually had an answer. The plan can have a maximum of 2,400 active tasks, and the overall task limit within a plan is 9,000. So I'm not sure if, thank you for chiming in.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
I mean,
tasks.
yeah, and if these projects are getting this complex, with thousands of tasks and subtasks, we're now getting into the business of creating a work streams and programs where we're kind of splitting the work into work streams and trying to manage these pieces of work. It's becoming harder to manage, a very, very large schedule. So we're trying to, simplify this a little bit and make, managing a big project, splitting this into 3 sub projects and then making it a program. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that, how we would do that. But yeah, thank you for the answer. The numbers are pretty high up there.
So Alex, we do have another question. If you want to address these now or wait till the
Sure.
end.
Yeah. Let's yeah.
If you needed to supply the plan as a part of a customer deliverable, is it possible to print from Planner or export to MS Project Desktop?
So what you would want to do if that's the case, you can either play with some of these, which is the charts, and this is where you can to a degree see some of the information that is rolled up, what's completed, what's not, things like that. As far as the printing of this, we would I would show you some of those reports that we have available, where you would kind of, as close as you can represent the schedule and things like that. Putting this into MS Project, we can do the other way. We can pick from MS Project and put it into Planner. From Planner to Project, you can do to a degree some of the copy paste, right? You can kind of select all of this and you can go to the grid, and then you would just select a bunch of these things and make this a project plan. You can copy paste this into MS Project schedule, right? If I just open project real quick and show it to you, and maybe this is gonna get you what you're looking for. But as far as professionally, what I would do, I would have a Power BI report. I would have a Power BI report, and I would deliver that Power BI report as a deliverable to a customer. So here's the task name, and I think we had start and finish there, right? So we have a couple things in the middle. I'll just say duration is here. So you can grab this. I'm just gonna grab a section. Grab a section here. Couple fields in the middle. I'm just gonna insert something. I mean, that's quick copy paste, but again, this is kind of rigging this up a little bit, being a little bit creative, if you will. But that's, I mean, if that's what you need to do, then you can do this and then send that. But I would show you the end of it. I would show you the PPM and PPM 365, which is the Power App that goes on top of this top of the planner, and from there you can actually do some of that more professional, if you will, where it can be PDF'd and sent to the customer.
Being that this is now sort of a project for the web and Planner is one, would you be able to use Power BI report pack also to report on some of this?
Yeah, you can use the same, the same content pack, the Power BI report, to pull information from here. If you have any issues, let us know. But since this is what is being asked, let me get to it real quick. So here's the PPM 365, the Power App for for Planner, basically. And here we have all those plans that we talked about, and within those plans we have all those features, additional metadata that we can hold, and we do have this the scheduling, right? The scheduling, the exact scheduling that we looked before, the same timelines and things like that. You can have all of that, part of the embedded, part of the app for the PMO to be able to look at, and within which you would have the report that you can choose and select the timelines. And here's, I think here we have some of the timelines available for us. Not at this one, but we can show you some of this the project timelines and all the tasks that we're putting in here, have them depicted on some of these timelines, and then have that to be part of your deliverable. So these are some of the projects. So you can pick some of that and then paste it to either email or PowerPoint or PDF, and have that to be distributed kind of in a formatted, professional way. And all this is like real time, like updated. So once you change the schedule, it can come to your report, click and update, and then send it. So it's really literally very, very real time type of updates that you can do.
It looks like we got another useful tip from one of our attendees. Additionally, from experience, Planner can be exported to Excel, imported to another scheduling app, or export timeline to PDF for printing also. So thank you for that tip.
Yeah, and the export is, as I said, you don't even have to export to Excel. You can just copy paste this, and that's just gonna bring this to Excel. It's kind of a little trick that I was doing. You can also add some additional, additional formatting. So so the typical one, if the percent complete is more, is greater than, is more than 50%, then I want this to turn into this, for example. And if the percent complete is equal to 100, then turn it into green, right? So now if I turn this, see this this percent completion is now changing based on my percent completion. So I can
Just a quick time check. We're coming up on 1 minute.
All right. Yeah. So what I wanted to also show you some of these additional board and timeline, features here. So you can also baseline this. So create the baseline that allows you to baseline some of this, start and finish duration and baseline effort activities. And then now, when you are on a timeline, you would be able to you'd be able to see how things have shifted say you have, moved things around a little bit, and then you can go back and progress. You'll be able to see how this is compared to the baseline that we have set. Yeah, so you need now baseline finish is now 9 days. Your project is behind schedule in 9 days. So that's kind of allowing you to see how much, to baseline this in the beginning and see how late you're becoming by changing some of these tasks. Also, I'll let you explore all those filters. You can manage this to see tasks that are late, they're due today, tomorrow, this week, and things like that. So you can play with this filters over here. The conditional formatting, you can make this conditional formatting here. So when we look at the board, this is our famous like segue to Scrum and Agile management. So we have this bucket one, and then different other buckets that we created. But you can switch to different buckets. I like to really get to a simple one, which is the progress, which is simple, and not started, in progress, completed, right? And then you can just work with your team and say, well, this is in progress, this is in progress, this is in progress, and you can just move things around like this. But you can, if you like to work in sprints, then you can have this is makes everything into the backlog, and then it's a default sprint, and you can say my default sprint in August, and in this sprint I'm going to be doing this, this, and this, and then another sprint, say September, and then have that September sprint planning going on, right? Say sprint 2, and then have that as in September. But you get the idea. So you can set up those sprints and run this. There are certain things that we can report on, and then make this really advanced Scrum and sprint planning platform here. So just buckets is just arbitrarily, you can name those buckets whatever you want, and then have them into different buckets. And it's just like when you are working on this as a board, here's the tasks, here's how we shift them, and that's how you want to work. Use the board for all of these circumstances. If you look at the timeline, this is where the dates coming into play, and you can see all those, start, in progress. In progress is going to mark it at 50% complete, and this is how you're going to move down. The charts are going to start showing you, what you have, what you don't have. You can use the filters here. This is kind of quick sneak peek into what's going on over here. This is where it's saying like only me is assigned to these tasks, but you can, as soon as you have more people assigned, you'll see who is assigned to what task. Let me just quickly go and do that. So let me just assign myself to a couple of these tasks, and assigned Yuri to some other task. And yeah, it's going to create a group, yada yada. So now I have a group. Congratulations. And now if I go to people, I'll see my tasks and yours tasks, and I see how much I completed, and then how many tasks are late for me, how many tasks are late for Yuri. So can get a quickly team meeting and quickly get here to take a look at that. So goals is something new. Obviously we're setting up different goals, and we will have probably separate webinars about goals and things like that. But this is a topic where we create a link between strategy and our projects. And quickly, the assignments is where the same. My tasks and your tasks are depicted here, and I can see the actuals for some of these tasks. Whew, running quickly, and all I wanted to cover, I'm done. Any other questions?
Yeah, at this point, we don't have any other questions. Just want to, and again, I'm sure things will come up. You can always rewatch this webinar. It'll be available shortly on our YouTube channel. I did post a link into chat. And you can always reach out to us at info@trusteditgroup.com for anything at all, questions, or if you'd like to set up a one-on-one session or demo based on your specific use case. And we can certainly dive deeper into that and see what your needs are. So feel free to reach out. And again, thank you very much for joining us and taking your time out of your busy afternoon. And hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you soon.